Now, for decades, China has served as a dumping ground for several developed nations. The United States, Britain, European Union and Japan, among others, have exported their waste to China, who was happy to process it and put it back into the economy. In 2013, China took its first step to enforce stringent waste quality legislation. It was called Operation Green Fence. Then in January this year, Beijing banned 24 kinds of waste imports, an unexpected development for many. So 5 months into the ban, what has been the impact on the rest of the world? Here's a report.
Heaps of plastic waste, piles of e-waste, and millions of tons of scrap paper. This was a common sight in landfills across China, as the country served to be a dustbin to several first world nations. For decades, China was more than happy to import waste. And why wouldn't it? Thanks to its manufacturing boom, someone else's trash was China's treasure. Until January 2018, when China refused to play the role of a global waste basket by banning import of 24 categories of solid waste, including waste plastics, unsorted scrap paper and waste textiles. But months after Beijing announced the ban, it has had a cascading effect on the world. Many Western countries are facing severe recycling incapacity and environmental pollution. In Canada, Britain and some other European nations, scraps are piling up in recycling centres with nowhere to dump. In Australia, even recyclable waste is sent to the landfill because it can no longer afford to recycle it. With no takers, hordes of low-grade plastic is being incinerated in United Kingdom. And one of the largest exporters of waste to China, the United States of America, clearly rattled by the decision, argued that Beijing's approach may not have had the desired effect. United States claimed that scrap materials may end up being disposed of at landfills instead of being recycled, a concern Beijing put to rest without altering the ban. As China shuts the door on the world, recyclers from developed countries are desperate to find an alternative. Several Western countries are looking towards Southeast Asia or the Middle East to export their waste. Thailand is becoming the new dumping ground for used electronics, as containers filled with electronic scrap are shipped from Japan, Hong Kong and Singapore. India, Indonesia and Malaysia are also buying some of the global trash. But none of them can compare to China when it comes to size and processing capacity. But while some Asian countries are proving to be cheaper alternatives, there are some who are clamping down on waste imports. For example, Vietnam, who recently stopped issuing waste import permits. Clearly, China's waste import ban has opened up a gamut of opportunities, even for the first world countries who are now looking to mend their ways. Europe has announced its aggressive new recycling initiative aimed at reducing plastic waste and garbage exports. France has banned some disposable plastic items, while the United Kingdom has announced plans to ban the use of some kinds of plastic. South Korea, New Zealand and Canada too are considering similar bans. The decision may have been an unexpected one, but it is a wake-up call. Some would say a much-needed one. But the question remains whether it will push the world economies in the right direction. Bureau Report, WION.